up? Yo, Mandy Hops coming at you from the hood, Boulder City. You guys, by the way, check out my cool shirt my friend Sue just got me. I'm about to introduce, which is ironic because Molasses just got me this. And she got me this bomb-ass mask, which we're about to tell you guys a story. Because you're like, oh, Mandy, why are you hanging out with a girl? Well, let me tell you about her.
Because she's like my mom.
No, definitely not. Oh, I'm like your mom? I don't know.
No,
This is Sue.
Hey, guys.
Say hi.
Hi.
So let me get a good position on us because she wants to be comfortable, so she's making it difficult. All right. So you're going to have to be comfortable and closer to me so we can both be in this.
Right, well,
or we can take turns. I can do you first.
Pillows.
I can do you first.
All right, you ready?
Okay, so, but first,
You start the story because this was at your place.
Okay, so we met about 10 years ago. I was on the back of some dude's Harley. She was with some dude, your ex, right? And,
Ex-husband, yes.
Mm-hmm. And, so they were looking for pizza, and I went in and threw her a bunch of menus, and we were friends ever since. So anyway, the story we're going to tell you tonight, how was it being my neighbor, by the way?
Pretty wild. We had a lot of drunk nights on the patio.
Yeah. Dude, don't let her gray hair fool you. This chick is wild. Wild. And, you say who would want to have me as their neighbor? Only her. Nobody else wants me as their neighbor.
Gotta get this
And we
hair
still talk 10 years later. So, by the way, guys, please comment if you think she should dye it. Because I told her, don't just let it naturally grow out. You see how it's dark on the top of her? I told her, don't do that. Either buy some gray dye or dark dye. Back me up and put some comments below on what you think. Let her know. So anyway, so she had a Ouija board, from
My mother.
From her mother. And growing up, Ouija boards, my mom was super religious. They were super taboo. I played with them and some weird stuff has happened. So I tell Sue to bring over a Ouija board. It's been, maybe about 15 years since I played with one. And I Google everything you have to do to stay safe from a Ouija board. But you can't control anything that comes out. So we did white candles, white salt, silver, coins. Yes. We had candles lit. It was while my boyfriend was at work and we were up to no good. So she comes over. I also have a recorder, to record everything.
Oh,
and
hair.
It says, whatever you do, I know, that's why I'm always touching my hair in my videos. Don't let it go back up. You guys heard of Zozo? Google it. On Ouija boards, it was zzz, 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 and it was Edie, and it was saying crazy stuff. Well, I mean, go ahead and tell your version, because we both remember different parts.
Oh, yes.
Let's keep it not too long.
It was very, very interesting because we started using the Ouija board, and I had lost somebody who passed away a few years prior to that. And as we're moving, it was going towards his name, which totally freaked me out. His name was Jonathan, and it spelled out Jonina, and I took my fingers off the board. And
apparently, according to Google, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do it, so we had to go back in and close it out. But prior to all this, we started asking questions of the board, and the board asked, she asked the board, she said, who do you want to talk to, her or me? And she said her, so I was her. And I was asking if it was a male or a female, and it said male. And it was very interesting because the whole session that was done, we recorded this. She had a small hand
totally
tape
recorded. My friend did radio, yes, Brian.
Right, and we were just by ourselves. There were no other people in the room. And this went on, I guess we were doing it for about 45 minutes or so.
So we're going to fast forward. Shit freaked us out. Mike came home. We're in a panic. We're like, look, Mike is my fucking boyfriend of 7 years. We're like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you crazy broads. Nobody believed us. You guys, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't believe us. I'm not even going to tell you this session anymore. I'm just going to tell you the after effects.
Yes.
That still affected, I feel honestly, affected me and Mike's relationship completely. But, so what had happened was, we go outside and you hear this guy and it goes literally a blank tape. It says mother. We never heard any of this. It was motherfucker. And it just keeps going and then it's And then Sue is you can hear her voice in the background being recorded real time. She's like, so are we going to do this again on Friday? And I'm like, no.
The interesting thing was when I asked if it was a male or a female, it laughed this voice. And we didn't know it until we played the recorder back. And when we heard that, it was like, oh shit, it did scare the hell out of us.
And even Mike was scared at this point. So moving on, she took it back home. I'm like, never bring it back over. Stuff started to happen.
Yes.
Okay, in my apartment. Me and Mike started getting into violent fights for the first time out of like 5 years. We started to see shadow figures, which I don't even believe in shadow figures until I saw them. So you guys, like, I see stuff on TV and I'm like, oh, if something bad happened, I would just be out. Like, I wouldn't stay there, right? But you start building up to it. So I had a knife block on my counter.
Yes.
One day, I swear to God, well, even up before that, pictures flew off the wall.
The Georgia O'Keeffe
I lived there.
poster.
Yeah, it flew off the wall, cracked my wall. Nobody was up there. One day, so Mike didn't want to freak me out, but I had been seeing, like, so we had 2 tables, like these little bedside tables on the side of our bed, and I had seen like a 7-foot tall, and I almost want to call it like an Abraham Lincoln type thing, like all in black,
right,
over me, and it didn't do anything, it didn't say anything. After a while, like, you'd look at it and you'd be like, oh shit, it's still there, and like you'd be like a little kid, and you would just try to tell yourself like it's not real because I was like scared, and so I didn't tell Mikey, and one day Mikey's like, hey, I saw this thing standing over you.
Yes, and that was
without me telling him.
That was the creepy part, because she didn't tell him anything, but all of a sudden,
because I knew I brought this shit show.
He started seeing this. So a lesson learned, folks. This was my mother's Ouija board, and ever since that incident, I do not use it. It is kept in a box.
I wouldn't even have it.
But don't go screwing around with stuff, because you definitely do let things in.
So a knife came up out of a knife block and just dropped right in front of my face, like ping. Swear to God, you thought that would be the end of it, but me and Mike were so traumatized by then. Mike said he had been held down, like he, I guess when people say they can't breathe, and he said there was a black thing, and then he said the pillow flew from out of his head across the room. This was him at 5 a.m. before he went to work on cars, sober. He's not a girly girl. He wouldn't feed this stuff. Like, he was drop dead serious. We had a disastrous relationship for a year. I tried to get sage. I prayed.
Yes.
I mean, I fucked up. I messed up. Don't play with Ouija boards. Dude, seriously, like, they are real. And it destroyed my life. I would say I still feel like it's never completely gone. You open up some door.
I do. And you know, the thing with Mandy is she is like my daughter and my friend, but I even thought about having a priest come to bless her
apartment. It was that bad, bro. We weren't making it up.
No, it was that bad that I felt so bad that, you know, that had happened there. But as I said,
I think you did get me some holy water. Because you used to work with nuns, remember?
Yes, I worked at a convent for 7.5 years, and I had talked to a couple of sisters who had brothers who were priests. And all I can tell you is that I don't think I'll ever forget that night, and I'm very open about stuff like this.
And it was day, actually. It wasn't night. We weren't wasted.
Yeah,
it was during the day.
Yeah, it was early.
It was like 2 p.m., 3 p.m.
And trust me when I say, we did not imagine this shit. It did actually happen.
We invoked this shit, though. Like, this is, so, like, any of y'all that still have a little craft left in you, get rid of it. Don't do it. I was bold just doing tarot cards with Molasses Murphy because I was so scared of, like, what had happened in the past. So, anyway, you guys, shout out. Thanks for checking out our story late. Love y'all. Bye.
Bye.